Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of June. Still markets remain a little bit in turmoil, just in terms of direction, with a little bit more geopolitical concerns starting to come to the fray. Last night we had an incident where an Israeli plane flew over Lebanon airspace and was shot at. Obviously caused a little bit of concern. Obviously Israel's having some concerns in other areas as well. So market was a little bit unsure, but one of the, I think, the important things is that the geopolitical concern or environment is still there, but we're still seeing some very significant economic numbers out of the States. One was manufacturing, which was really positive indeed. So it's a lot of to-ing and throwing. People moving towards the risk aversion trades whenever there's any sign of concern, and but people not really focusing on, I think, the growth forecasts, which we're seeing. So anyway, let's have a bit of a wrap as to what's happening, and let's just come up here as we go. There we are, good old Bloomberg there. Righty-ho, and let's just start here. Obviously, start with America and then see what actually transpired here. The Dow in itself was down 1.11%. The S&P was off 18, and the Nasdaq was down 34. Pretty volatile session, there's no doubt about it. As we mentioned here, we've got concerns that Middle Eastern tension seems to be growing. Manufacturing in the US expands faster than estimated, particularly as export orders climb. That's an encouraging sign. Remember, we've got factory orders out tomorrow night and non-farm payrolls on Friday. So I think that all would be very supportive, or in fact the market should actually be trading into it on a bullish note, but we'll have to really see how that unfolds. Europe was much the same, bit of a negative night there coming back from their holiday. The Stoic was down 3.68%. The FTSE was off 25, and the DAX actually up 17 points. CAC was down 4.48. Pretty quiet, a little bit mixed, just trying to find out what people think, but I was encouraged by the recovery of the FTSE towards the lower end of the session, which actually dragged up that Stoic as well. So if anything, a little bit more encouraging. Okay, let's have a look at a few of the other things that have come up, and let's have a look at, the currency pages. Oops, no, not that one. You want currency? Here we go. Currency in itself: the euro 122.03, the dollar yen 19.97, the pound 146.33, the dollar Swiss 115.79. And you can see the dollar Swiss gold actually going to close to a record high last night. The Aussie battler just off a little bit off its highs. We did see the 83.22, but we've seen some risk aversion trades, and that Aussie has tucked up back under that 83. The dollar CAD 105.53, and that's relatively steady. As you can see, towards the close, we saw a good recovery, and then all of a sudden this this sort of risk aversion style of trading actually just occurring now. So that in itself, I think, is a little bit of concern, but I see this as a breach and a pullback. Let's have a look at the commodity sector. And you can see here that Brent crude naturally under pressure, or oil under pressure, down 3.42% for Brent, but West Texas clawed back a little bit, only down 1.88 at 72.58. On the agricultural side of it, we saw coffee was up 2.3 at 136.55. Corn was down 5 at 3.54. Cotton was off 98 at 79.07. Soybeans were off 5 3/4 at 9.32. Soybean meal was off 4.1 at 269.40. Sugar was up 1.48% at 14.40. Wheat was down 7 at 4.50 3/4. And in Chicago, Kansas, it was down 3.5 at 4.78. Copper down a little bit of pressure, down 1.34%, 306. Gold was up naturally, 11.9. And silver basically up at 1.2 at 8.55. That was all on the back of a little bit of contagion just occurring there. Let's just get that out of the minute. Sorry. As we can see, just looking at some of the trades here, dollar index 86.92 bounced back after that low of 86.22, and that was I think a little bit more bullish. But let's you can just see that on the chart now. Still trying to work out what it wants to do within this region. This starts to look a little bit more supportive of dollar strength, but we'll have to see what happens with there. Crude, as we mentioned, down a bit. Copper down a bit as well. Everything's looking a little bit mixed. The local market Local market in itself, they closed at 4,362, and that was down 45 points. So still within those ranges and still some of those critical areas to keep an eye out at 42.50. That's all just coming up now, so it's taking a little bit of time. There we go there, I'll just save that there. As you can see down, let's just see what that bounce occurs, but this is a breach and a pullback. So let's see how that unfolds. Righto, in terms of economic calendar stuff, and what have we got there for today, and I think that's important. The gross domestic product in Australia is going to be very important, and we've got on the UK M4, which is good. Yeah, pending home sales in the States and total vehicle sales will be very important as well. So could be quite interesting. I think the key, as we said, is Thursday and Friday. So let's see what happens on that front. Well, that's about it from me today. We're still sort of tentatively holding on to small positions across the board because we're unsure as what's happening, and we want to see a little bit more trend developing. But as it stands, we're sort of long commodities and also short US dollars. So a little bit tentative at the moment as to which way it's going, but let's see. But that's about it from me. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.